Welcome to FYI for August 24th, 2011. Don Varda here with you at our Access LaPorte County studios. We're live on Comcast Cable on Channel 97 in LaPorte and in Michigan City. Andy Steele is our esteemed director tonight. And Andy, after the program, I'll tell you about an offer that you didn't hear very well and you passed on and you'll regret for the next 5 years. Anyway, we also want to remind you before we start the program, Friday night we'll have South Bend, Washington at Michigan City for high school football. That'll be our game of the week here on Access LaPorte County. Joe Doyle's here with us. He's the chairman of the Summerfest committee. Tara Miller is the treasurer, and our new guest is Mike Hale. Mike is the secretary of the Summerfest board. And welcome all.
Thanks for having us.
Nice to see you guys again. You're all looking good. You got tans. There could be an argument made that Joe ain't doing enough work because he's getting too good of a tan. Is he outside all the time, Tara, or is he still working?
He's working. He's
getting
working
value
outside.
out of him?
Oh, sure.
You're still getting value out of him. All right. Labor Days is our topic tonight with the Summerfest committee. We're going to talk about several other topics as well, but let's start with Labor Days. It's from September 2nd through the 5th. And Tara, the first thing we want to talk about is the sponsors.
Okay. I'm going to try to hit all of them by memory here, but if I forget, then they're going to help me out. Obviously you can't put on any kind of event, a festival, without sponsorships. That's how we can afford to put on events where they don't cost a lot to the participants. The sponsors kind of make up those dollars so that we can afford to do this. So we have Blue Chip Casino, which is always one of our major sponsors.
Sure.
NIPSCO also. Buffalo Wild Wings. Thank you, Joe.
I have my cheat sheet out here.
Oh,
right
yeah,
there for
see,
you.
you've got it too. LaPorte County Visitors Bureau, Pepsi, Republic Liquors, United Beverages. Did I say Buffalo Wild Wings? Yes. Comcast, and the Park Department, of course. I think I got everybody.
Yeah.
News Dispatch.
And the News Dispatch.
Right.
And WeFM.
And WeFM.
So all of these sponsors help make it possible for us to be able to do these events at low cost or no cost to the participant.
Right, and I think that's the point we need to make again. Of course, if you have a park pass, you can drive into Washington Park free.
Correct.
These events are free. You buy a hot dog, you pay for the hot dog, but listening to the bands, all those other things are included.
All free. And one thing that I'm very proud of also, as we head into, believe it or not, our 10th year as Labor Days, that we have all ages tent areas. So both of our stages with live entertainment is for all ages. Because I know there's a lot of parents that want to bring their kids along, teenagers that like to listen to the music. You don't have to be 21 in order to enjoy that.
All right, that's great. Joe, how are things going with you, my friend?
Great. I just hope that the rest of the events for this year go as well as they have so far.
Oh, you guys are batting 1,000 in my book.
Thank you.
How's talk about the bingo at the senior center?
Tara.
Bingo is at 10:30, I believe, in the morning on Monday, September 5th.
Okay.
This is our 10th year of doing this bingo also. I have an army of volunteers, and I know I'm going to forget somebody, but off the top of my head, I remember Pat Weiss, Julie Lisak, Paul Lisak, Arlene Dubkowski. We have a bunch of people that come, Dave and Judy Fennell, that come down and put this on for us so that we can participate in Labor Days with our own event.
Okay.
So it's an important event for the Senior Center that we're able to participate with Summer Festival.
Mike, you haven't been on the program before. You're the secretary of the Summerfest, and while you walked out of the room, they were talking bad about you. When you came back in, they said, "Man, they said the guy did the brochure. He, donated all this work. He's a sponsor." How have you enjoyed your time with this group?
It's been great so far. I'm learning a lot. This is my first year with the Summerfest, and I'm learning on how it works, the ins and outs, and all that good stuff.
Tell us about South Shore Media.
South Shore Media, that was a brainchild of mine. I started in 2009. I was laid off during the economic downturn there, and once you start getting on unemployment, that's fine. You know you're going to be taken care of.
Motivation kind of kicks in, huh?
Yeah, the boredom starts showing its ugly head. So I was like, I got to do something. Something's got to get me out of the house. So I was like, well, what do I like to do? And I started from there, and I took some friends' advice, and they said I was good at these various computer technology-related things. I'm like, let's make a business out of it. So that's what I've been doing ever since. It's been a great learning experience. Met lots of people and around town specifically, and just trying to do the best I can.
And tell our audience about some of the things you do as the secretary of the Summerfest committee.
Well, I got the basics. Secretary, take mail, make sure our minutes are distributed and taken. Our meetings are recorded, and try and be somewhat of a hub to make sure people are communicating as they should, and the word's getting out to whoever needs to know about anything in particular.
Everybody wears a lot of hats.
Well, that's what I was going to say also. Yes, we each have individual duties that we do, and some of us chair certain things or are in charge of certain aspects of Summer Festival or Labor Days. But really, all of us, we all roll up our shirt sleeves and we all get down in the trenches and we all do what needs to be done to make it happen. We are just volunteers. None of us get paid on our board. And we do this because we want good quality events in our community. And in order to make that happen, you have to have volunteers that are willing to give of themselves and their time to make these things happen.
Labor Days is September 2nd through the 5th. Joe, why don't we start with you going over what's going to happen on Friday, September 2nd?
Well, as you can see on the JC stage, of course, it's high noon, Hoosier Highway. And the Oasis, that's from, one is at 5, the high noon, and 8 o'clock is Hoosier Highway. The Solution at the Oasis at 6 o'clock, and Shut Up and Drive is at 9 o'clock.
Tara, give us a quick rundown of these bands. Of course, we've all heard of High Noon. Tell us about Hoosier Highway.
Well, Hoosier Highway actually is not playing there on Friday night. They're friends of mine. They had some illnesses in the band and disbanded this band, so it no longer exists. But
Okay.
It's been replaced by a band called SL4,
Okay.
and they are a Jimmy Buffett tribute band. So nice way to kick off the weekend a little bit on the JC stage. The first band is High Noon, they're country. And then over on the Oasis, where we like to keep our rock, we have The Solution, Chad Holm. I know a lot of people know him from Phased Out and several other bands that he's played in. He is heading up The Solution.
And what do they play?
Like a rock blues type
Okay.
of music. Chad's a lot of fun on stage. He's got a great personality, so he really livens things up. And then Shut Up and Drive closes out the night on the Oasis stage, which is a driving rock sound, some blues mixed in. They've been around for 30, 40 years, long time.
Wow. All right, and then Saturday, September 3rd. Talk about that.
Well, I know Joe's Moose Baton Corps, that's something near and dear to his heart. They're coming up on the JC stage at noon, followed by the Soul Steppers, who have done some really great things this year and been out there participating in different championships and contests and have brought home quite a few trophies. I understand Lynn Isbell's living room was full.
Well, they're all over the country now, winning national awards, and of course, we've all seen them in the parades. They're just terrific. I mean, if you want an energy boost unlike anything you've ever seen, I'd recommend the Soul Steppers.
For sure.
Yes, especially the contest that they had this last year at the high school.
And then at 4:30, Midwest Hype.
Midwest Hype is a kind of a reggae funk kind of sound. Really different, but have hit the local scene in the last year or so and really gained some interest and garnered some attention. So we're excited about having them here. And then followed by my band, Spellbound, at 8 o'clock. This was a decision by some of the board members that decided they felt that we should be on the main stage this year, since we do a lot of family entertainment type music. So.
Well, you guys definitely do a nice job, and I know a lot of people, from our area and stuff like to listen to those songs and Journey and all the good songs you guys play. It's
sure.
a lot of fun.
Blondie and Pat Benatar.
There you go.
Some fun stuff.
You can't beat a Pat Benatar song in Michigan City.
Isn't that the truth? Then at the Oasis on Saturday, we start out with Selective Recall. They're a totally 80s group.
Okay.
If you've ever seen the lead singer, he reminds me kind of a Huey Lewis kind of look. He always wears the tie, and his hair's spiked up and a little bit crazy. And so they do all 80s music, and they're followed by the Boogeymen, who will be playing on the Oasis on Saturday night. A lot of people know Martin Hernandez of the Boogeymen, and
Yeah, they're
they
very
always do a
popular.
great job for us.
Very popular. Joe, what kind of food are we going to have out there?
Well, I'll tell you, I believe there was 21 different variety of food vendors.
Okay.
And one thing I want to make sure that we talk about, and that is our rides is a little different. We brought in the expanded from what it was from if you remember, the normal, what they call it, vertical edge. They're out of Michigan.
Okay.
And Tara was very fortunate to be able to draw them last year. I think it was last year, was it?
Yep, last year.
They brought in some of their equipment, but most of it's inflatables. They also have, they're going to have bumper cars on the skating rink, which we still don't know if those are inflatables. And what was the other one that they're bringing?
The climbing wall, I think they're bringing
Right.
that in. The bull, the mechanical bull.
Yes, and that one they can crank up, so if you want to take a ride, one way or another, it'll throw you.
Oh, I think Don's in.
It'll handle my ability on the mechanical bill.
Oh, yeah.
You bet.
You turn it up to 9 or whatever.
Right,
Absolutely.
You can crank it up. The other thing is, what was it with a toilet or something that they said?
Oh, the bumper car toilets.
Yeah, the bumper car
Yeah,
toilets.
in the ice skating rink.
So I'm not sure what that is, but we'll find out. Just make sure they flush it. You know.
We're just as excited, yeah. We're just as excited to find out what all these are ourselves.
But we had a lot of people, they get the normal rides all the time, and it's, we thought we'd try something different. And so far, it's Fun Days, they just really took off.
Bumper car toilets.
Yeah.
Nice. We are taking live calls too at 861-0940. If you'd like to call and ask the Summerfest any question, or if you'd like to call and you have personal experience with bumper car toilets, let us know what we're about to see.
Yeah, we'd love to know.
All right, so Tara, let's move on to Sunday.
Okay. At the JC stage, we start with Eddie Carosa and the Boys from Illinois. If anybody has lived in this town for any length of time, you've heard of Eddie Carosa. Big polka guy. His father started the Baby Doll Polka Club over in Chicago and was quite famous there, and he's carried on the tradition and plays for us here in Michigan City. Followed by Me and the Boys at 4 p.m., which is a swing-type jazz music. Mary Kay Steele is the lead singer in that band, and they always do a fantastic job. And then we close out the night on the JC stage with the Together Band, which is the mayor's favorite band. He has them for his mayor's ball every year. So,
Yep, they're good.
yeah, and they draw a huge crowd for us. So if you're coming, get there early.
All right. And then what about the Oasis stage?
Oasis stage starts with Mistress, another local band. Plays quite frequently around town, does a great job, followed by M&R Rush, and I don't know if you remember them, but they were very popular back in the 80s. They actually had a CD, well, I guess back then it would have been an album, but they put out an album, and they had some national coverage. They did some national touring, and they still have a huge following, and they decided several years ago just to get together for a reunion gig, I guess, one-time thing, and it was so well received that they every year now they do several performances throughout the summer and get back together to revive M&R Rush. So we're excited about having them
That'll be really fun. They start at 9 o'clock in the at the Oasis tent.
at the Oasis.
All right. Joe, talk about what we see here on the bottom of this. The Salvation Army's going to have their food bank again.
Yes, that's one of the things that we always try to make sure, especially at these times, that people bring food down there. And as long as they're enjoying themselves, we ask them to at least consider the people to make sure they have food on their table.
Sure.
So it's worked out real well.
And Monday, September 5th at the JC stage, of course, Keith Scott, terrific blues player, very fun guy.
Very fun guy.
Good entertainer.
Good friend.
Yeah.
Real nice person. We have him every year. We just can't think of anyone better suited to open up for Duke Tomato. I mean, it's just a natural fit, and both are in the blues genre of music. So we start with Keith at noon, and then we finish up Labor Days on the JC stage with Duke Tomato at 3 on Monday. And at the Oasis, I'm very excited to talk about these two bands. Jemiah and the Red Machine. I saw them last year. They played a charity event over in LaPorte, and this is a group of 3 kids. The oldest was, now this was last year, so he was 15 or 16. The other 2 were 13 and 11, I believe.
Wow.
And this kid plays Jimi Hendrix like Jimi Hendrix, behind the head, the whole 9 yards. They are fantastic, and they're just kids. So they go on at 1 o'clock, and Marrakesh Express follows them, And they were here year before last. We had such a great response for having them on. They are a Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young tribute band.
That would be cool.
So they are really well received here. We get a lot of compliments, and every year that I don't have them, I have people calling me saying, why aren't you having Marrakesh Express back? So we have to keep them in the lineup.
Listen to a little Southern Cross and all those great hits.
Absolutely.
That's really, really good. Joe, what else do you want to add?
Well, one of the nice things, of course, Lulac always has one heck of a spread. If you like, that type of food, they really do one heck of a job. And of course, there's quite a few other types of food that we have, like naturally the elephant ears and all the rest of the goodies. As far as the arts and crafts, from what I understand, there's quite a few people that are going to be coming here that weren't here last year. And so it depends again on the economy, what we're going to have. But from talking with Tom, he's had a lot of inquiries. I've had a lot of people call that I've referred to him. So it looks like if everything goes good, we're going to have one heck of a festival. So.
Mike?
Pray for no rain.
No
Yes,
rain.
Yep.
Additions? Not much that hasn't been explained there. I mean, we've got all our acts and stuff. Let's see, to round out the brochure, if anybody has seen that yet, pick it up around town.
You can also get it online.
Yeah, get it online on our website. It's mcsummerfest.org. You go on there, find our brochure, find maps of all our events, any information at all. And if there's not the information you want, just send us an email and we'll be happy to get that out to you. But I would also like to have a call out on our brochure for getting involved. We're still accepting volunteers. If anybody would like to get involved and see what they can do for the summer festival, we'd be happy to talk with you and see what we can do and maybe match your talents up with one of our events and grow the Summerfest. That's what I'd like to see.
Well, the nice thing, too, and of course we're taking live calls at 8610940 if you'd like to call in, but the nice thing about volunteering, too, is you get to be a part of the thing, you know what I mean? I mean, you're down there, you're in it, and it makes it terrific.
Absolutely.
Sometimes when you work around the event, it's as much fun as just going there.
Oh, it's a great time. Our volunteers always come away from the experience and say, we had a good time. We're glad we came. We learned some things. We got to hear live entertainment. So, it's a good experience for you.
All right, we've got a caller on the line. Caller, go ahead.
Hey, Chris, thanks for taking my call. Appreciate it, and thanks to the park for putting this together. Question I have, a couple of them actually, are going to be the beach. Are people still allowed to pack their coolers and come down to the beach with beer, alcohol, as long as it's not in a glass container, and continue the party without staying on the pavement and around the tent area?
Well, the only thing, I believe they still have an ordinance that requires that they're 50 feet from the parking lot.
Other than that, you're welcome to bring your coolers as long as they're not glass, and enjoy the beach and listen to the music.
And then how late is the park going to be open, the beach area? How late can families come down to the beach and friends get together on Labor Day weekend? It's a holiday, and stay on the beach and party and go back and forth to the entertainment and party on the beach, get on the boats, just have a good time. How late? Midnight, 1 in the morning, too?
As far as I know, the normal closing hours, I believe, are 11 o'clock, but with major events, they have run later. But a lot of people leave the beach and then come up to the event itself when things start getting a little dark.
Tara, if a band starts at 9 o'clock, are they going to do a 2-hour set then, pretty much? Is there a time limit on that?
We try to shut all bands down by 11:30 so that we have time to get the tent closed down, get our volunteers back to their cars, get the lights shut off, money put away. So we try to be done by 11:30 with every stage.
Anything else, caller?
And so the beach will be open after that, or how does that work?
Usually the police usually have asked people to leave because of the fact that there would be nobody out there to protect them if there was a problem.
And it's pretty dark on the beach at night. There's not a whole lot of lighting out there, so once it gets dark, it makes it difficult to navigate.
what about the bonfires? They allow any campfires or any type of contained fires on the beach yet, or is that?
As far as I know, that has been eliminated quite some time back. And again, that was primarily for the safety of the people there, because they have had occasions where somebody was having a bonfire and people were walking in the sand without any shoes on, and it gets a little bit dangerous.
You know, I would recommend to the caller to definitely call the Michigan City Police Department's non-emergency line and get all those rules from them, right?
Or even the park department.
Or
They
even the
should be able
park,
to.
yeah, the park department, to make sure you get those correctly.
And then what time are you opening in the morning, as far as, and how much is the admission to get in?
The admission is free as far as the festival itself. If you have a Washington Park sticker, it costs you nothing. If you don't, it's $6 per car to enter. And we open at 11 a.m. on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. On Friday, we open at 5 p.m. Obviously, we have to wait till the park department and everything closes down, so we open at 5 on Friday. And then we close at 6 p.m. on Monday.
Okay, great. Thanks, guys. Hey, we're looking for a great time as usual. We appreciate all your hard work. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for
Thanks,
calling.
guys. We'll see you this next weekend. Bye-bye.
Thanks
Bye-bye
for the
now.
call.
You're welcome.
Okay, so a lot of good information there from our friends that go to these events, and these events are well attended. You know, I mean, that's one thing you mentioned, getting to the park early. You know, if you want to see the bands that you want to see, all the bands are very popular. They all have their own following.
Absolutely.
See, a lot of places have cover charges, and this is for the people. This is for people to enjoy, and we try to do it at a cost. We're not there to make money. We're there to put on the event.
Well, and you guys do it every year, and it is terrific. I mean, you know, if you go to a rock concert these days to see a couple bands, you know, you're going to be paying $80 to sit at the back of the grass over at Tinley Park. You know, you're not going to, you're not going to get to see 3 or 4 bands and walk around and see friends. That's the thing I always like about it. You always run into friends you haven't seen in years.
Yeah, it's definitely a gathering place for the community. It's also we have one additional event after Labor Days, but for the most part, it wraps up the summer. This is the way a lot of people wind down. Kids are back in school. It's the one last hurrah before, the fall is coming.
Yeah.
And the weather that goes with it.
Exactly, and you have the amusement rides for the kids. It's kind of like having the fair all over again in Michigan City.
It is, and right on the beach.
Right.
What a better location than that.
And you're right, as far as the volunteers, over the years, I think we've really had many dedicated people that you couldn't afford to put this on if you had to pay somebody.
Yeah, no question about it. And Tara, you mentioned the sponsors of the entire program. Without these sponsors, it's the same situation.
Same situation. We would have to charge, we'd have to work on entry fees. We'd have to charge more for our beverages. I mean, everything would have to go up in order to cover the costs that are, inherent with these kind of festivals. So without the sponsorship, we couldn't give it to the community for free. We just couldn't afford to do it.
So let's just mention the bingo again at the Senior Center. Monday at 10:30 a.m. This is probably a nice event for the Senior Center.
It's great. It's non-smoking facility, so it's nice, clean air that you breathe. And I get a lot of calls as we approach as to what time the doors open, because that's a big deal. Bingo players like to get there early. They like to scope out their spot, get their cards all set up and ready to go. So the answer is 9 a.m. we open the doors, and the bingo begins at 10:30.
And do you serve the guests anything when they come in?
We have food and beverages available for sale at
Nice.
the Senior Center. I know they're doing barbecued pork, I believe, this year, and hot dogs.
Great.
So, or they might be doing barbecued beef. I'm not sure, but my chefs know.
The food is there.
The food is there,
It's always there, isn't
and
it?
it's very, very reasonable.
Yeah, very good. Joe, anything you want to add before we wrap up?
No, I just hope we get people to come out and enjoy themselves, and we'll be glad to, any ideas that they might have that we can do better, we're always open to suggestions.
Mike, thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Nice meeting you. Tara, keep up the good work.
I shall.
I think, these events are terrific. I've been to them, and a lot of our friends go to them, and it's just another way that the Summerfest Committee continues to put on great entertainment in Michigan City. You guys have all, worked together for a long time. You guys all make it look easy, and anything that looks that easy, we know was a lot of hard work.
Well, there's a lot of time we spend behind the scenes that people don't
Oh, yeah.
realize. And one nice thing is that we have very unselfish people. When I need something, I can call, whether it's Mike, whether it's Tara or Bill or whoever, they're there, you know, and let's get it done.
That's awesome.
And that's what's really nice, because our efforts are all, you know, like Tara said, we have specific responsibilities, but we also have where when one needs help, that's what we're there for.
Very good.
And that's what makes it fun.
All right, that's going to conclude our program tonight. Andy Steele and Lee Schilling produced the program. We hope you enjoyed it. Come out to Summerfest, and don't forget this weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, probably Sunday too, the boat show.
Yes, correct.
Michigan City's In-Water Boat Show starts tomorrow, free for LaPorte County residents with an ID on Thursday. For all of us here at Access LaPorte County, good night.